Francis condemned Israel for its aggression against Lebanon and Gaza, pointing to the force used in the targeted assassination of Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah. Speaking in an in-flight press conference over the weekend, the pontiff said that Israel has a domineering tendency, further adding, quote, "A country that uses force to do these things, I am talking about any country, to do these things in such a superlative way, these are immoral actions."
The Pope declared all wars are unjust and a crime against humanity, arguing that morality must be upheld even during times of war. His sentiment echoes his 2022 remarks about the war in Ukraine, calling for an end to it in March, a month after Russia invaded it. Though he didn't call out Russia by name, the Pope's criticism of the war has increased. Israel has not responded to these latest comments from the Pope, but in July, Israel issued a statement condemning the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I mean, it is the Pope's role to call for global peace, world peace, consistent with Catholic or Christian or religious philosophy in general, but obviously the situation is complicated by the fact that the participants want to engage in war, at least in the case of Israel and Hamas, and
they don't answer the Pope.
Israel and Iran, and they don't answer the Pope, but he is right to call for peace. I hope peace prevails, but it goes both ways, and both sides and belligerents need to seek peace.
I think this Pope in particular needs to be very careful because he is a different type of Pope. He's portraying himself, he's a Jesuit, he's a more progressive leader in the Church. The Catholic Church historically has not taken positions like this. So he has to be a little bit careful because let's not forget, roll back the clock, when the Catholic Church and the Red Cross facilitated Nazis, they transported Nazis to South America, in Argentina in particular. I mean, Evita Peron, the famous Evita Peron, went to the Pope, went to the Vatican, and orchestrated this deal. And several Nazis, there's so many books have been written about this at this point, moved to South America in facilitation with the Red Cross and the Catholic Church, and he should know that. So, you know, beyond this rhetoric, right, there's also an undertone that could be perceived through the Jewish community that he is not representing their interests.
Well, I mean, the Church, many Catholic priests and Catholic leaders sheltered Jewish people, stood up for Jewish people during World War II. I don't know that, I mean, I'm raised Catholic. I'm a sort of lapsed Catholic, I would say, and obviously the Catholic Church has a very complicated history, and it is certainly not all to the good, including in recent times. But I would not say that the Catholic Church has a Jewish problem.
Well, I'm saying that the Vatican itself. So yes, there are individual churches. There are individual churches, there are individual Jesuit priests, but the Vatican itself facilitated this. All I'm mentioning is another layer to this current, which it's not just that the Pope is speaking out against war, it's that the Pope is the head of a church that had some real issues with the Jewish population, you know, one generation ago. So it's something to keep in mind, and I'm sure Netanyahu's very aware of this, and it could be weaponized. So if I were the Pope, which would be a very weird position to be, I would make it very clear and overly clear that this is any sort of atrocities. All war is bad, as he said. But
although under Catholic morality, there is just war theory. Like you are not obligated to do nothing and stand motionless as you are killed if your land, if your people are invaded or attacked, as the people of Ukraine were by Russia. Right. Now, I agree that we need to have peace, and in fact, I think we should be pushing for peace, even if that means Russia claiming some kind of, or taking some kind of victory so that they stop invading the country and killing everyone in it. I'm for that, but you do have a right. It's not, if you're attacked, you can, and then this is, you know, what gets tricky about the Israel situation, is that they were attacked on October 7th. 1,200 people killed, people, you know, dragged from their homes, taken prisoner by a terrorist group. But of course, the Palestinian people have the right to feel aggrieved by how Israel has treated them. And then Israel will say, well, we did those things because of the things Palestinians did on X, Y, and Z occasion. And then they can say, but before that, we did that. Like, this is how it becomes impossible to resolve these things, because you can always point to previous actions by the other side that you are saying you are responding to. And what partisans do, I've noticed now, and I will throw this out there. I think the left does this sometimes. Maybe not you specifically. You can always, and the right does it too. You can always reduce the agency of your own side and thus make the other side feel more guilty. Say, well, they're only doing this. The other power, be it Russia, the Hamas, whoever it is, they're only doing it because in response to our actions, which were bad. And that's usually true. But then you can also say, but what were our actions were a result of some bad action that they took. And what people will do is cut off the agency.
Right.
Say, no, we are the U.S. and its allies are the prime actors and movers, and everyone else is just helpless but can only react to what we do. And they have no control over how they handle things. It's just us. But of course, that's a very simplistic way of viewing
I think you're totally right on this. And that's why people who say the Mideast is simple, it's not. It's incredibly complicated, and we should understand that to the point where a basic complication is Netanyahu obviously propped up Hamas and is very much benefiting from this situation and using it to his advantage.
Not a conspiracy theory has been clearly demonstrated 100%. By mainstream reporting.
Including reporters in Israel who've reported on this for over a decade. With that being said, he's also using this as an opportunity to leverage Israel and U.S.'s relationship to take on Iran, of course. What I'm curious about with the Pope is, what are you going to do about it? You're the Pope. I love how he's presenting himself as this peaceful figurehead, but the Catholic Church is incredibly powerful. And yet, it's like he wants to sit in the shadows. Why don't you offer some sort of peace talks? Why don't you invite these leaders and have a conversation at the Vatican in some safe space? Maybe it doesn't go anywhere, but at least do something. If you want peace, you can't just call for world peace. Oh, we're going to do a prayer every Sunday, and we're all going to call for world peace. That's great, but that's also like Marianne Williamson saying we're going to meditate on world peace. It's a good thing. It's not a solution.
I mean, Catholics believe that prayer, I mean, not just Catholics, Christians, people of other faiths believe that prayer is an important thing you can do, and it's sometimes really the only thing you can do.
But he can do more, is what I'm saying. Okay. Maybe it's the only thing we can do, but he can do more.
The Pope.
He is in charge of one of the most powerful institutions in the world, historically, throughout time, and continuing today.
Well, I would like to see everyone call for more peace and work toward that, and yeah, that would certainly be a good thing. That does it for us today on Rising. Thanks for tuning in. It is, only Wednesday, so we'll be back here tomorrow. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content, and for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. We'll see you later. Still hoping for some sunshine in the District of Columbia, maybe one of these days. See you later.